Hey guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End. It is the 4th of March, and we have all the news. And sadly, look, it's not Dolly, but it is Dolly's husband has passed away after 60 years of marriage, is our first story. Uh, Obviously, we hope that Dolly takes time to, deal with this. I can't imagine losing someone I'd lived most of my life with. It would be like I lost all gravity in my life. So let's get into the news because there is tons of it. Good morning, Audio Coffee and Dizzy, Kathy, Michelle, 80s Music Man, Wolfram, Tammy. Good morning. Good morning. And thank you, Wolfram, as always, for your modly mod duties. Dolly Parton shared a secret to a nearly 60-year marriage with Carl Dean 3 months before his death. So I figured we'd get life advice from Dolly instead of a rest in peace Carl Dean. I figured we'd have a little bit of positivity because Dolly's so positive all the time. So I figured we'd get some wisdom from the Queen. Dolly Parton revealed the secret to her and Carl Dean's nearly 60-year marriage just 3 months before his death Monday. He's quiet and I'm loud, and we're funny, the country music legend said on Bunny XO's Dumb Blonde podcast on November 2024. Oh, he's hilarious, and I just think that's one of the things that's made it last through all the years. We love each other and we respect each other, plus we have a lot of fun. The Jolene hitmaker explained that she and Dean often used humor to smooth over tough moments in their marriage. Anytime there's too much tension going on, either one of us can find a joke about it to really break the tension, and we don't let it go so far, Parton, who is 79, said. The Grammy winner also said that she and Dean make an effort to avoid getting into fights with each other. We never fought back and forth, and I'm glad now that we never did, because once you start that, that becomes a lifetime thing. I've seen so many people, and I thought, I ain't ever starting that, she said. Wisdom from Dolly. The iconic songstress said that she and Dean, who wed in 1966, never wanted to knowingly hurt each other's feelings. I couldn't bear to think that he'd said something I couldn't take because I'm a very sensitive person towards myself and other people. The same month, Parton told People that her last perfect day was spent with Dean. I had the day off and I got to spend the whole day with my husband, she said in the interview. Young Dolly. Look at her. Who wouldn't have married her? I mean, can you imagine the 27 cans of Aquanet that were sacrificed to make that hairdo? And Dean was right there just holding the Aquanet for her like, honey, I'll build you a helmet. I've worked so much that we often don't have that long, all the long full days that we used to have when life was just not as complicated, the Oscar nominee continued. Anytime I have some time off, it's always a good day for me and him for us to have time off. Now, Parton shared the news of Dean's death in a statement shared to Instagram on Monday. He was 82. Carl and I have spent many wonderful years together, she wrote. Words can't do justice to the love we shared over 60 years. Thank you for your prayers and sympathy. Per the statement, Dean will be laid to rest in a private ceremony with immediate family attending, and the family has asked for privacy during this difficult time. Now, Dean and Parton do not share any children, but he is survived by his siblings, Sandra and Donnie. So, Dolly, take this time. We will be fine. You must go and, deal with this so that you can continue to be our blonde, busty queen of country music. In a story, and I do have a poll up because the Petty Express is run by you guys. There is a new Skelton Brothers hearing. Now, it is 7 hours long. I don't know if I'll get through the whole hearing at once, but I can change the scheduling so we can watch the Skelton Brothers probate hearing today and then continue on the Colorado versus Stacey Rodriguez tomorrow. It is up to you guys. But this has been a case that has often intrigued me, and you did see it kind of come up, or I brought it up during the Megan Boswell case, with the sort of allusion to giving Evelyn to a benevolent sort of person that was going to give her a good life. This has been a major, major case. So here is what has been found and what we will probably see in the probate hearing. 3 boys never returned from dad's after Thanksgiving. Then police found a noose, a note, and a Bible verse circled in his home. Andrew Alexander and Tanner Skelton were last seen November 2010. A Michigan court was set to decide on Monday whether to legally declare dead 3 siblings who disappeared 15 years ago after spending Thanksgiving vacation with their father. The Skelton boys, Andrew age 9, Alexander age 7, and Tanner age 5, were last seen in November 2010 in their father's Morenci, Michigan home where they were spending Thanksgiving, the Associated Press has previously reported. Now, the boys' mother, Tanya Zurez, was seeking a divorce from their father, John Skelton, at the time, per the outlet. Now, with more than a decade with no answers, Zuvers is requesting a court declare her 3 sons dead. Now, she filed the paperwork for this process in December 2023, Fox 2 Detroit reported. On Monday, March 3rd, a Lenawee County Court heard from investigators involved that there are no signs, sadly, that the boys are still alive. Now, there has been age progression done on all 3 boys. This is what they do believe they would look like now. In November 2010, the children did not return to her the day after Thanksgiving, and police traced John's phone to Ohio at 4 a.m. and back in Michigan after 6 a.m. Now, detectives made an ominous discovery at John's home while he was in the hospital for an alleged ankle injury the same day. Amid the mess in his residence, per the AP, police found a noose hanging from the second floor, an open Bible with a verse circled, and a note, seemingly for Zuvers, which read, "You'll hate me forever, and I know this," according to an FBI agent. Now, on one occasion, when his church pastor confronted him about the boys, John allegedly said, "I sent them home." Burris testified statements he said implied that John had red-rummed all of the children. "I am confident that they are deceased," Larry Weeks, who was a Morenci police chief in 2010, said in court on Monday. The boys' mother also believes that John probably took their lives. The investigation also revealed internet searches by John's looking up instructions on how to break a neck. Now, he further alleged that John had lied about his children's whereabouts, making false claims that they had been handed over to people for their safety. Zuvers also alleges that John claimed that the boys would hibernate until they graduate. Fox 2 Detroit reported, citing a statement from the bereaved mother. Now, Zuvers told the court on Monday that this legal declaration would allow her to pay respect to her sons and put a date on their headstones, WTOL reported. "Because their dad showed them no respect," she said. "Because any loving father would not have done what he did, I owe them respect. The decision came after much thought and discussion with my family and friends. I did not come to it lightly. It was definitely a difficult decision to make," she previously said in a 2024 statement. That Fox 2 Detroit had reported. "No parent wants to lose a child, but to have the court step in and declare them deceased is just unfathomable." Now, John has not been charged in connection with the boys' deaths. He was convicted and sentenced to 15 years for failure to return the boys to their mother. On Monday, John appeared in court via video and declined to participate. "Everyone's got lawyers and I don't," he said per the AP. "I'm at a disadvantage. Anything I say isn't going to make a difference." Well, way to be an absolute dipshit your entire life, sir. I don't have a lawyer. You could tell people where your sons are. You could do that. So he is in jail for failure to return them to her custody because they don't have proof of death. They have never found bodies. It's a high likelihood that they're probably dead, but we have never found any conclusive physical evidence to charge John with that. Now, possibly this declaration of death could give more meat into that, considering, they have now been declared dead. But that is a, more top tier legalese question. But I do know that he was, convicted for basically failure to produce the children. Now, he has always said that he gave the boys over to a shady Amish kind of underground that helps abuse children. Now, I have done fairly a lot of research on this case. The mother, Tanya Zuvers, does have a charge in her background of when she was, I think, in her early 20s, possibly mid 20s, having a relationship with a 14-year-old boy. Now, John has claimed, and this are John's claims, that the boys were being abused in the marriage, and he sent them to this Amish underground because the legal system wouldn't help him. Now, I will put out there that there have been no claims made against Tanya in the intervening years, and none of the claims that John made about her abusing the boys in any way were substantiated in any fashion. So make of those claims what you will, but that's always been his claim. Now, there are some Amish underground organizations allegedly that do work with parents who cannot get relief from the legal system. But they have testified through the years that they have never had any interaction with John, that none of their contacts have. Again, I don't know how much I take into account, a shadowy, not, identified person saying, yeah, I run this shady underground organization that circumvents US laws. I'm going to talk about it on YouTube, but I need to, have my identity screened. So I'm not sure how much I take this. I very much feel that he was just another Jeremiah Bass. He knew that the one way to cripple a mother for life, to give her unending pain in this life, is to hurt or separate her from her children. And she didn't want to continue being married to him. He was going to hurt her, and he was going to hurt her bad. That's my read on this. I do wonder what more is going to come out on this probate hearing. So again, if you guys run the Petty Express, if you guys would like to watch this hearing today instead of tomorrow, or you would like to continue with the Stacey Rodriguez case and, keep this scheduled for, Wednesday, we can do whichever you please. I just figured I'd put it up since there was a story. I figured you guys might be interested in this or not. Good morning, Boosh and Audio Coffee. Well, in other news, and I pulled this up mainly if you are in the Oregon area or anywhere around there to keep your eyes peeled, there is a search underway for a missing 2-year-old boy, Dane Paulson, in Oregon. So this is the little boy. It looks like he has sandy blondish or brown hair. He's a little guy. So let's find him. Let's hope we find him and, for one, have a happy ending on one of these damn things. I need it in my life. Now, a massive search is underway for an Oregon toddler who was reported missing on Saturday afternoon, according to Lincoln County Sheriff's Department. Dane Paulson was reported missing at approximately 4:25 p.m. Saturday, was last seen playing in the front yard of his family's Slits, Oregon home, just out of sight of his parents. Why is a 2-year-old in the front yard by himself? And look, I'm not mom shaming. I get that my kids, we had to put like hotel locks up at above Mo's head level just to keep them inside. So I get it. But is he known for wandering off? 2-year-olds, I didn't let my 2-year-olds outside out of my sight, even if we had a fenced in backyard. That being said, 2-year-olds are, mischievous and can get out of anywhere. Now, we want to thank our community for sharing information and tips related to this investigation, the Sheriff's Department said. Our team and community are working tirelessly to bring Dane home. By the end of Monday, authorities had searched 682 acres and 311 miles, but Paulson has still not been found. The child is friendly and fearless and comfortable around strangers and water, but cannot swim. It's, he is known to love water and vehicles. Paulson has brown hair and green eyes and was last seen wearing a gray fuzzy hoodie with ears, black pants, and blue and white shoes. Search and rescue teams comprising 88 total members, 40 investigators, 4 aerial drones, and multiple human trailing dogs, plus 144 community volunteers have continued to search for Paulson. Marine teams, including 13 divers, have also begun looking in the river. Now, Lincoln County Major Crime Team and the FBI are also assisting in the investigation and any new leads. The FBI's Victim Service Division is also providing resources to the Paulson family. Now, previously, an adult male in a 1990s gold-colored station wagon, both of which were not known to the family, was seen in the area approximately 30 minutes prior to Paulson's disappearance, but the authorities have since located the driver of the vehicle and it is no longer a point of interest. At this time, Dane's disappearance does not meet the criteria to use an Amber Alert system, according to the Sheriff's Department. Now, the Department of Justice requires certain criteria to issue an Amber Alert, including the following: reasonable belief an abduction has occurred, the child is in imminent danger of death or injury, and there is enough descriptive information of the victim and abduction, the child is 17 years or younger, and the child's name or other important information has been entered into the National Crime Information System. Now, this is according to the department's website. Those are the criteria that need to be filled in order for them to have an Amber Alert. Now, there is no evidence at this time suggesting criminal actions were involved in this incident. Officials said community members wanting to assist with search efforts can check with camp host at Elks Tokti Ilhi campground on Monday or report relevant information regarding Paulson's disappearance by calling 541-265-0669. Now, the department also said that additional updates on the situation will be shared via social media and flash alert. So I do hope that we find this little boy and he is returned home, because honest to goodness, we need some good cases here. We need some incredible, miraculous cases once in a while, just a couple times, when you can. Now, I don't know what the hell I am supposed to be saying about this particular glitch in the Matrix. Honestly, ma'am, you're not going to be Rosa Parks. Casey Anthony, one of America's most hated women, has rebranded herself as a civil rights advocate to oppose Trump. Satan versus Trump. I can see how this is going to work. I've always wanted to see, celebrity deathmatch allegedly in Minecraft. Yes, this woman is going to be our next Rosa Parks. Millennials, the hero we deserve. No lies detected. Welcome to the resistance, Casey Anthony, the infamous alleged homewrecker and murder suspect who was acquitted in the death of her 2-year-old daughter. One of the most hated women in America is rebranding herself as a legal advocate for people of the LGBTQ plus community.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Is this a punk? Is Ashton Kutcher going to come out and tell me that I've been punked? This is just stupid enough to be real life, current year. And it's all because she dislikes President Trump's, a friend tells the Post. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series I'm starting, said the so-called Top Mom in a TikTok video posted on Saturday. I'm a legal advocate. I'm a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. Yeah, being convicted or being, accused is not being in the... Look, being a defendant is not the same as being a lawyer. Well, but if you're sleeping with your lawyer through the transitive property, do you inherit some of his legal stuff? I mean, question. Is she by the transitive property if she allegedly slept with Jose Baez in lieu of payment for her defense? Does he transfer some of his lawyerness to her? I feel like I can finally use my algebra and higher math questions. I feel it's necessary if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate that I start to advocate for myself, also for my daughter. This chick bred again? What the hell? Someone laid down with this chick and actually impregnated her again? Or tell me she's not talking about her deceased daughter. Oh, for God's sake, she's talking about her deceased daughter. For the love of all that is holy and unholy and Cheetos, you have got to be kidding me. I didn't watch the video, honestly. I think talking in your car to yourself is about the most narcissistic thing you can do. So I was like, everyone's hating. I will let, it go. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony, she continued. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony, and my parents are George and Cynthia Anthony, and this is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. The whole point for this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. Ma'am, you got so lucky that Florida overcharged. Had they gone with second-degree murder or manslaughter, you would be in prison. I suggest that you quietly go back from the rock under whence you came and, again, just thank your lucky stars that Florida overcharged. But instead, you've decided to become like a fighter for power? Okay. As a proponent for the LGBT community, for our legal community and women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and look at a new blessing as opposed to the curse that it's been since 2016 or 8. Anthony said in a 3-minute video, because she just has to convert that oxygen into CO2 by bloviating nonsense. That reference of 2008 is when Anthony's daughter went missing outside of Orlando. Kaylee hadn't been seen for more than a month before her panicked grandparents called the police. The little girl's remains were found wrapped in duct tape inside a laundry bag a few months later. Now, while Kaylee was missing, her mother, Casey Anthony, was spotted clubbing around the city and dancing on tables instead of looking for her daughter. Anthony was charged with first-degree... No, she was being a hovacate. She was being an advocate for hoacity. She is a legal hotastic advocate as well. She's like, look, has anyone thought of the hose? And she's like, I'm going to go dance on tables and club, to make sure that the 304s are taken care of. Now, a friend close to 38-year-old Anthony tells the Post that Anthony was motivated to act because of Donald Trump. She is appalled, totally appalled. And she wants to speak up for so many people that don't have a voice. And she's got a lot of friends in the gay community, and she wants to use her influence to help. Now, I am guessing that my chat might have several gays, several LGBT people. Do you want this woman being your spokesperson? I mean, y'all already had to fight against Jared and the footlong subway, kid diddler kind of thing. Do you really want Casey Anthony to be your new, spokeswoman? I mean, again, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. She totally wants to fight Trump, the insider continued, and she figured she could either be angry or she could be a Trump-hating advocate for others, and she's gonna use her influence to resist. Again, I can only imagine this is what her friends sound like. Because, I mean, look, it's in my head. This is how her friends sound like. Anthony's murder trial was a media circus, with an estimated 40 million Americans watching at least part of the trial. The jaw-dropping not guilty verdict was viewed by nearly 100 million people worldwide. Anthony has continued to stay in the public eye, giving us pink eye and conjunctivitis all the time, by most recently moving in with a married father of two, causing him to blow up his marriage of 22 years. But Anthony wants to change the public perception of her by offering her words unfiltered to the masses. Look, I'm Catholic, but I'm not this masochistic. Please, I'm not going to watch your videos. I enjoy pain, but not that much. I am like proverbially standing in the light and embracing peace, so I'm still going to keep my privacy intact, she said. And I will explain, like in great detail, why it's so important for people to protect their privacy. With the current climate in our country, especially, it's like so much more important. Only it won't be a dialogue. Demonstrating just as little self awareness, Anthony has disabled comments on her videos. She isn't going to get in flame wars with people, her friend said. This is her platform, her space to say her piece. So you can either watch or move along. This is about what she wants. I mean, again, LGBT people, if this is your new leader, or you don't want this chick speaking for you, y'all better speak out and tell her to shut the hell up and go back to being, infamous and unknown as, she thanks her lucky stars that Florida overcharged. Well, for those of you that are dating, I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently people are flood lighting. It's the newest threat to dating. Now, I was hoping that this is where you shine to really light, like high powered light up people to see what's Mac and what's real. But apparently, no, this is trauma dumping on a first date, as you do. Now, hey, I haven't dated in a while, but I could see how people might not want to deal with all your trauma on a first date at, White Castle's just trying to get a combo meal. They're turning on the waterworks, and for some deceptive daters, it actually works. Opening up the floodgates and pouring out your heart on the first date, spilling your previous relationship drama and childhood trauma, is a messy mating movement known as floodlighting. And dating pros are putting a spotlight on a caution on this toxic trend. Now, floodlighting is the opposite of vulnerability. It presents as someone who's very open and vulnerable. But it's an emotionally manipulative hack. When they share a lot up front, continued the blonde in a TikTok tip, if you're taking dating TikTok tips, it's a crapshoot. They're floodlighting you. They're flashing these lights in your face. Essentially, it's their armor. Uh, you know, crediting author Brené Brown with the term, which is now buzzing across social media. Oh, great! Maybe we'll stop saying empath and narcissist. I mean, I'm willing to let narcissist and empath go. I'll bring in floodlighting. I'm just tired of everyone being called that. Raining on the parades of singles looking for something serious, floodlighting is a stunt often used by tricksters hoping to reel in a potential partner by divulging their personal information to gain empathy and establish a false and premature sense of trust. Jessica Alderson, co-author of the dating app So Synced, told Glamour, it involves sharing a lot of personal details all at once to test the waters, speed up intimacy, or see if the other person can handle these parts of you. Signs that you're getting snowed by a floodlighter include quick and detailed disclosures of one's intimate info, an unbalanced exchange of sob stories, a fast and intense emotional connection, and an intense analysis of your reactions to the horrors that they've shared. This sounds exhausting. I'm kind of with the incels right now. Let's just give everyone a government issue girlfriend because dating sounds horrible. People actually do this. People actually go in and say, "Hi, my name is Bob and I suck at relationships, but here's the sob stories of my last 5." I mean, that's a terrible first date idea. This is awful. I don't want, I mean, unless it's a real train wreck, like unless you had explosive diarrhea, were stood up at the altar and, your puppy got a broken leg. Like, I totally want to hear like your worst train wreck, but I don't want to hear all of your other stuff. So there you go. If someone starts flooding you with all this cray cray on the first date, I would walk away. If they start off crazy, I mean, we're seeing the ride. If we still buy a ticket, it's kind of on us. That being said, there have been some tickets I have bought that I should not have. Oh, this heifer. This heifer, are you kidding me? And it is an Indiana mom because, of course, it is. Lord Chippy attendants, I do need you to get to your stations. We have an attendant. We have a customer. Yes, that is right. You are excommunicated from the Mother Club. I no longer assume that you are a mother or categorize you as such. You were an incubator, a breeder, and that's how you will henceforth be labeled. End of story. The club of moms and ladies and females kick you out. You are a breeder and an incubator. Bye bye. Mom who ran over 8-year-old girl grabbing for a door handle while pretending to abandon her children receives her fate. An Indiana mom is heading to prison. Well, hell yeah, finally, Indiana, we did something right. For accidentally running over her 8-year-old daughter while playing a game with her kids in which she would drive away and pretend to abandon them. Some kids played Red Rover. We played Mom's Ditching Us. Ding dong ditch with mom, only she's trying to ditch us kids. Jasmine White, 27, was sentenced to 9 years. All right, I take it back. Indiana, what the hell are we doing? 9 years? Behind bars with 5 suspended, meaning she will serve 4 years in prison with work release. According to the St. Joseph's Prosecutor Office, White pled guilty in January to child neglect charges and was sentenced on Friday, records show. She will serve her time at the St. Joseph Correctional Center and will be on probation for 2 years following her release. As Long Crime previously reported, White was playing what one of her children said was a game in which White races her kids to the car, locks the door, and acts like she's going to leave them behind. One of her daughters said to have got her foot caught, was said to have gotten her foot caught under the rear tire of the car as it was moving, and she was pulled to the ground. Unfortunately, she suffered a fractured skull as well as fractured orbital bones, bruises, and a cut on her face so deep that it reached to the bone. The girl also lost 5 teeth, according to NBC affiliate WNDU. Now, the incident occurred on August 29th, 2024, at an apartment complex in South Bend. White's daughter spent several days in the hospital, including intubation and IV sedation, but she has reportedly been released. Now, one of the girl's siblings described the game to investigators, WNDU reported. She reportedly said that White was driving faster than usual, and the 8-year-old was holding to the door handle when she was run over. Now, video footage shows White speeding up at the same time her daughter was hanging onto the passenger door handle, allegedly reaching speeds of approximately 15 to 20 miles per hour. So the little girl survived. So maybe, but that is still serious brain trauma on a little child, plus orbital breaking, 5 teeth. I mean, these are severe wounds. I am doing okay. Well, this trooper would make Canton proud. Gotta love a trooper that would make Canton proud. And welcome, Shizzy Raiders. A Washington state trooper was arrested for vehicular homicide after an alleged drunk collision with a motorcyclist. Are you sure she wasn't moonlighting for Canton? I'm asking for a friend. Now, all right, so it looks like we will be going with the Skelton brothers today based on the poll. We will, the Petty Express will continue to go on the Colorado versus Stacey Rodriguez. We might even hit it tonight, but I do want to look at that hearing and see what's going on in that case. I followed it for a long time. A Washington State Patrol trooper was charged with vehicular homicide after she allegedly plowed into a 20-year-old motorcyclist while drunk behind the wheel. Sarah Lee Klassen, 35, was driving her vehicle down State Road 240 in Richland, about 200 miles southeast of Seattle, on Saturday around 7:40 p.m. when she allegedly struck Jose Sanchez while he was riding on his motorcycle. Now, Klassen had attempted to make a left-hand turn in front of the motorcycle at an intersection, causing him to collide with the front right corner of her vehicle, Richland Police Department Commander of Investigations Damon Jansen said. Now, Washington State troopers first arrived on scene and performed life-saving measures on Sanchez before he was rushed to Caldeck Regional Medical Center, where he was unfortunately pronounced dead. Though state troopers assumed investigative responsibility for the fatal crash, they quickly discovered that Klassen was an off-duty officer with their department and transferred the investigation over to the Richland Police. Officers identified several inconsistencies with her accounts of the collision and observed her slurring her speech, noticing she had glassy eyes during her initial investigation. Klassen told investigators she was on her way home from picking up pizza when she began to turn and collided with Sanchez, according to an affidavit obtained by the Tri-City Herald. Now, the motorcycle was almost completely under the front of her vehicle as it rested on the side of the roadway. Officer Steve Hyde told the, said in the affidavit. Sarah told me that the motorcyclist was definitely going faster than the posted speed limit, Officer Steve Hyde wrote in an affidavit. However, Hyde noted that she had a clear view of oncoming traffic and believes that an attentive driver should have been able to see the motorcyclist. Hyde believed that he smelled alcohol and asked Klassen to take a breathalyzer test, which she declined. Klassen then allegedly told the officer that she knows how this works, according to the affidavit. He asked Klassen for clarification, to which Klassen allegedly mentioned in a hypothetical situation involving a glass of wine. I responded at this time by asking her if she had had a glass of wine earlier. Sarah told me that she was not going to answer that question. Probable cause was established and she was arrested on the scene. Now, Klassen was booked into the Benton County Jail on a 72-hour hold for vehicular homicide. Investigators had obtained a court-authorized search for a blood sample. Now, the alleged drunk driving off-duty trooper was released from jail Monday. A Benton County judge ordered Klassen to not drive any vehicles unless there was an ignition interlock device, a breathalyzer that's installed in a car, to prevent it from starting after drinking alcohol was installed. She was also ordered to obtain an alcohol monitoring device within 48 hours of her release. Benton County Prosecutor's Office announced its intention to request a special prosecutor to oversee the case to ensure it was being handled with complete impartiality. Now, her defense attorney, Scott Johnson, argued in court Monday that documents only said that Hyde had smelled alcohol, but didn't specify that it was on Klassen's breath, according to court documents obtained in the Tri-City Herald. Johnson also said that his client immediately tried to perform CPR on Sanchez after the collision, and when first responders came, that's exactly what she was doing. None of that was in the affidavit. Now, Klassen was hired by the Washington State Troopers in 2012 and worked as a State Patrol Public Information Officer. She has been placed on administrative leave following the collision, and, the fatal crash comes just a year after Klassen was filmed in an interview with NBC Right Now, urging the public to be more attentive while driving. Irony. Clausen noted that speed, following too closely, distracted driving, and of course being impaired is what contributes to the rise in crashes. I know it's easy to get distracted by cell phones, radios, or occupants in your vehicles, but I think just being able to be alert and having that be the most important thing you're doing while driving is keeping you and the people around you safe. I mean, she seemed to know what she was supposed to do, and she could tell other people to do it. It's following those rules yourself, dang it. Well, this looks like it is going to be a bigger legal thing now, more on I believe the civil side, but I believe that this is going to really shine a light on higher education yet again. Now, however much progress this particular story and this lawsuit makes, I don't know, but it does show a clear pattern of discrimination. WizKid offered a Google job out of high school but got rejected by 16 colleges, and now he's suing for discrimination. Stanley Zhang was a near perfect college applicant. Out of more than 2 million kids who take the SAT annually, he was one of the roughly 2,000 to score a 1590 or higher. His high school GPA was a 4.42 on a 4.0 scale. He even had an offer to hand in work at a PhD level job at Google before graduating high school. Stanley, who intended to study computer science, also managed his own startup and e-document signature platform, RapidSign, while still a high schooler. But anyone's expectations, the Palo Alto, California teen should have been, Harvard or MIT bound. And yet, Stanley, who is now 19, was met with disappointment after disappointment in 2023 when college admissions letters started trickling in. Stanley was rejected by Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, Caltech, Carnegie Mellon, Cornell University, Georgia Tech, MIT, Stanford, UC Berkeley, UC Davis, UCLA, UCSD, UCSB, the University of Illinois, the University of Michigan, the University of Washington, and the University of Wisconsin. Only the University of Texas at Austin and the University of Maryland, with a prospective 31% and 44% admission rate, accepted him. Stanley's father, Nan Zhang, was astounded. I did hear that Asians seem to be facing a higher bar when it comes to college admissions, but I thought it was an urban legend. When these rejections rolled in one after another, I was dumbfounded. What started with surprise turned in frustration and eventually then turned into anger. With just 2 offers of admission out of 18 schools, Nan became convinced that his whiz kid must have been discriminated against and decided to take the schools who rejected his son to court. There is nothing more un-American than this, Nan said, of the alleged discrimination his son has faced. I really don't think these schools give a damn about the damage they're doing to these kids. Asian American students have long gotten the short end of the stick when it comes to affirmative action. So the Supreme Court outlawed affirmative action in college admissions in June 2023, finding that Asian students were systematically overlooked. Because Stanley applied for admissions shortly before the rulings, the Zhang decided to sue the colleges located in states that had pre-existing laws prohibiting racial discrimination in admissions. Affirmative action has been banned at public universities in Stanley's home state of California since 1996. So far, the family has filed lawsuits against the University of California system, the University of Washington, alleging schools engaged in racially discriminatory admissions practices that disadvantaged highly qualified Asian American applicants. Stanley's admission results stand in stark contrast to his receipt of a full-time job offer from Google for a position requiring a PhD degree or equivalent practical experience, the lawsuit claims. Stanley's experience is emblematic of a broader pattern of racial discrimination against highly qualified Asian American applicants at University of California. They seek compensatory and punitive damages and such other and further relief as the court deems just and proper. The family also recently filed another suit against the University of Michigan, which the clerk is currently processing. In the Harvard Supreme Court case, the question was whether affirmative action is legal or not, Nan explained. Our case is a matter of enforcing the law and holding schools responsible. It's great that the Supreme Court ruled in this case, but I think the enforcement is going to be a lot harder than just declaring it unconstitutional. Victor Bata of the University of Washington responded to the lawsuit and to the Post, saying that UW stands behind this admissions process, and we have long recognized that our capacity is limited and we are not able to admit some very talented and capable applicants. We are reviewing the lawsuit. A representative for the University of Michigan said that they had not yet received the lawsuit. Many colleges have been accused of exploiting loopholes to manipulate racial demographics of incoming classes, in spite of the Supreme Court's ruling, often artificially suppressing Asian American numbers. Stanley decided to take Google's job offer and has been working full-time as a software engineer since October. Google first tried to recruit him when he was just 13 years old because his online coding was so advanced that the company figured he must be an adult. Though he hasn't ruled out college in the future, he's decided to step back from media attention after facing blowback over his lawsuits on the internet. We haven't seen more cases like Stanley because there's kind of an open hostility towards Asian students standing up for their rights, and it's unbelievable, his father said. Nan, an immigrant from China who also works as a software engineer, also has a 16-year-old son and says he's very much worried about the prospects he's facing in the college admissions process. My other son is part of the reason we are fighting this battle. We're doing this for other Asian kids, including my younger son and my future grandkids. Nan is representing the family in court by himself. He used artificial intelligence to help outline the complaints and said the lawsuits would not be possible without AI. We have a pro se computer genius going up against big education. We are following this case. If he's using AI to be a competent pro se person, this could be interessante. The reason we are representing ourselves is not that we'd like to, he said. Lawyers leaning left didn't want to take the case, and lawyers on the right think that the courts in California and other states are going to be too biased. He is looking for two things to help build his case: more plaintiffs and whistleblowers from inside the university system. Nan says what motivates him most is fighting for the mental well-being of other Asian American kids who feel unmoored by rejection despite their tireless hard work. This really damages their mental health, creating a sense of helplessness and hopelessness, he said. If you look at Stanley's case as a reference point, even if you're as good as someone with a PhD, you might not even get an undergraduate admissions acceptance. So the world has gone mad. Let this computer genius come fix all of my stuff. I think he's smart enough. And maybe college is overrated. I mean, we expect everyone to get a piece of paper now to the point where they're watered down, basically extensions of fairly high school level work. I mean, this is no longer the college of having to really spend time to research. You put everything into Grok, he looks up the things, you plug it in, and you regurgitate what your professor says. So are we actually sending our children to learn or to regurgitate the talking points of their crazy-ass professors? And I say this as a person who's getting ready to send my oldest off to college because that's where she wants to go. So I understand the full irony and hypocriticalness of my own speech. Well, it's not the size that counts, and that's what Japan said. Japan has the world's smallest park, covering just 2.5 square feet, and it's now officially the smallest green space in a city. Now, I don't know why this was a contest, but apparently Japan has won. A part in Nagazumi, Japan, has officially been named the world's smallest park, covering an area of just 2.5 square feet. The park near Nagazumi Town Hall, about an hour's drive from Tokyo, was created in 1988 after a worker at the construction management division of Nagazumi Town returned from a trip to the United States. The worker had encountered Mills End Park in Portland, Oregon, which previously held the record at 3.1 square feet. So they wanted to create an even smaller park. Sushi Koyama, a team leader at the construction management division, told the Guinness World Records. The park was completed in 1988, but the city didn't bring in Guinness World Records adjudicators to do the official measure until December. Now, Nazagumi Park has now been certified the world's smallest park. And thank you, Jill Ems, for being a member for 2 months. Thank you for joining the Church of Mo. We have dark chocolate and sarcasm. We want to continue maintaining the park. I don't even know how you can call that a park, but okay, maintain it with the community as well as creating a landscape that is more social media friendly. I give up. So that even more people will find attractions of our town. Well, if the world's smallest park is the attraction of your town, ask Iowa how the world's biggest, ball of twine is working for them. I mean, it's a bold idea. Well, big bazongas are out and now petite perky boobs are back in. Newsflash, I guess. Big implants are a no-go anymore. New York women and other trendy women are getting yoga boobs. Now, are they made out of recycled yoga mats? Question for our friends. And hoping no one notices. Strong but petite. I mean, okie dokie. The hottest club in New York City is the Itty Bitty Committee. You have got to be kidding me. This is the guy you want touching you while you're under anesthesia to give you small boobs? Okay. The world is perfectly normal. This is the guy that's going to be holding your little perky booblets. Bye-bye to Baywatch boobs. Small boobs are actually a big deal right now in plastic surgery. Do we get a price cut? Like if we go down to just a B cup, like do we get a price cut? Like are they less expensive? Is it like a compact versus an SUV? Like B to D is what is my mileage looking like? Like do I use a full Jello packet? Like what's going on here? Dubbed yoga boobs or ballerina boobs, the all-natural appearance, which takes its name from women with slender athletic builds, has cropped up in doctors' offices around town and even across the nation amid a rise of undetectable aesthetics. Why are you paying $100 or like $10,000 to get new boobs if no one notices? I mean, okie dokie. It's a stark contrast from the plastic surgery heyday of the early 2000s, where exaggerated bust lines reigned, according to plastic surgeon from Park Avenue, Dr. Laura Devane. She receives 50 to 100 inquiries a month for yoga boobs, which she describes as enough to fill out a sports bra while maintaining a sleek, sculpted silhouette. Okay, but hand sizes. Are we talking like grapefruit? Are we talking about an apple, like a Granny Smith apple, Red Delicious, grapes? I don't know which fruit I'm supposed to be conforming this to. Oh, well, we get to see. What the hell did you do here? Y'all, what the hell did you do here? That added, how much did you pay for not one damn difference? Y'all, I give up. Humanity is ridiculous. So there you go. If you want to go from to you'll lose $10,000. Okay, there's a difference here. I can get this. Welcome to boob chat. I mean, here's a difference, I guess. So there you go. I mean, if you would like small but perky, apparently that is now an option. You can go with your boobular area if you'd like to, if you'd like to get a little work done. Yoga boobs are apparently the new thing. I guess Pamela Anderson has had an effect on the world. Heal America, take out the implants. Possibly. I don't know. I just saw that and I was like, what? I I mean, look, if they have bothered you and you want to get them done and they will make you feel better, then by all means go get itty bitty boob implants. I'm just saying, I'm a practical woman and I like, I like bang for my buck. So I don't know what is going on here. But if you would like to get your tatas, topped off, then by all means you do it. I just I mean, I'd like them to be where they were before gravity was invented, but you don't see me, getting. I mean, I'd love to be a member of that committee. Y'all have cuter bras. I'm gonna go get me a pair of yoga boobs. Y'all are no difference. I'll just come in, big chested women. You know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna come in with a name tag where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna actually have a shirt that has the wording where it's supposed to be and not up by my neck. I'm not gonna have divots in my shoulders anymore. That's it. Help donate $1 for Mo's new yoga boobs. She's not gonna share with the class, but it'll be an experience of fun and hilarity and Mo getting new boobs. So really, it's fun for all. I don't know how I'm going to sell this to Mr. Mo, but I definitely am going to attempt to sell this. Now, I understand having odd hobbies like the rest of us, but who is buying JFK's undies for $9,000? And Mark Zuckerberg's old hoodies. Now, unless they are trying to Jurassic Park JFK, so we'll just have fields of Kennedys, I don't know why you're buying his draws, okay? Hail to the briefs, a pair of underpants worn by President John F. Kennedy long before his time in the Oval Office has sold at auction in Los Angeles for $9,100. Now the ivory cotton snap fly boxer shorts featuring a hand-sewn label embroidered with the late leader of the free world's nickname, Jack, reportedly date back to his stint in the Navy during the 1940s. Again, why you want, undies from the 40s of JFK, I don't know. Now, Kennedy famously served as a commander of the torpedo boat PT-109 in the Solomon Islands during World War II, barely escaping death after being rammed by a Japanese destroyer. The presidential pants were featured at Julian's Auctions Spotlight History and Technology early this week, SWNS reported. Now, the auction also included a black alternative brand hoodie worn on numerous occasions by Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg back in 2010. Well, that's just to see if he's really a lizard person. I'm sure there's some touch DNA. So that was when the tech titan was named the Person of the Year by Time magazine. While only estimated to sell for about $1,000, a modest bidding war drove up the price to a whopping $15,875. People are ridiculous. Again, if you have money to burn, I encourage you to donate to Mo's House, a for-profit charity where all of the 100% of your donation goes to my house. Actually, possibly more truthful than any other charity ever. The lucky purchaser received a handwritten note from the Meta Matcher reading, "One of my favorite old school Facebook hoodies. I wore this all the time in the early days. It even has our original mission statement on the inside lining." Don't be a lizard person. Enjoy Mark Zuckerberg. Meanwhile, one of the signature bow ties worn by Apple co founder Steve Jobs snagged an eye popping $35,750, 35 times above the estimate of $1,000. Jobs is said to have worn the green Wilkes Brashford brand bow tie with pink stripes to two different photo shoots for Macintosh back in 1984. So he purposely picked all these colors together, is what you're telling me. On purpose. And a bow tie. And we bought things from him? Okay. And a conference in Aspen in 1983, as well as an annual shareholders meeting in 1984. Auctions of celebrity clothing, both intimate and otherwise, are far from the ordinary. Former royalty, including Queen Elizabeth, had their unmentionables raffled off in recent years, while convicted fraudster Bernie Madoff's boxers went for $1,700 back in 2010. It was a great Christmas gift to people because it's not something they would buy for themselves, the lucky winner of the latter said at the time. Yes, I wouldn't buy Bernie Madoff's boxers for myself, but I also would ask for a receipt so I could spend the money purchased with that for this. No, we have lost the plot, y'all. Lost it all the way. And in our final story, but a story with a happy ending after people are absolute douche canoes. Deserve to be in jail. A cat left behind at the airport by its callous owner has a happy ending. It was like the feline version of the 2004 Tom Hanks movie, The Terminal, the sad saga of a cat who was ditched at the airport before a flight in Lebanon was prompting waterworks across social media. You don't leave family behind. Veterinarian Rana Hami, 30 years old, captioned a TikTok video of the incident with over 2.9 million viewers. Now, according to the clip, the owner brought the cat to the flight hub for a trip, although the intended destination was not clear. However, the feline's owner did not have the proper paperwork for boarding the flight, so they decided to just leave him at the airport. A-holes. Now, an accompanying picture included footage that showed the 2-year-old domestic short-hair cat lying next to the checkout counter alongside several articles of clothing. He was thrown away with some of the luggage, lamented Hami in the caption. The animal rescuer and TikToker had been alerted to the kitten's involuntary layover by a friend who works at the airport in Beirut. She decided to call Hami for help after witnessing the animal's plight. Upon hearing about the animal's predicament, the animal lover subsequently drove to the airport where she found the critter cowering under an escalator railing at Gate 2, as seen in the footage. Poor baby, he was very scared due to the commotion all around him, and some evil jerk-face kids decided to, try to kick him because they're jerks. She subsequently gave the unlikely airport squatter a thorough checkup, revealing that he had some, slight wounds on his body, but fortunately no significant internal bleeding. But he is now home, and she's got cat pants, so she's cool, obviously. After treating the cat's injuries, Hame transferred him to a foster care facility as her own home was already at capacity. Thankfully, he's doing great at foster care, and hopefully he'll get adopted soon. He is such a strong, resilient boy and has made a swift recovery considering all the trauma he has had to endure. A follow-up clip captioned "He's safe" shows a happy Hami swaddling the critter in a blanket following his rescue. Outraged commenters were quick to lay into the cat's neglectful ex-owners, with one writing, "If I can't take my cat with me, I'm not getting on the plane. What is wrong with people? People who dump their pets like trash don't deserve to own animals or have children," another said. "Thank you for rescuing him." "People who do this to animals deserve to be in jail," declared a third. Meanwhile, one person lamented, I'm an airport emergency dispatcher, and people do this all the time. It is currently at the discretion of every airline whether pets are allowed to board or not, according to the Federal Aviation Administration. The FAA urges travelers to find out about their carrier's policies ahead of time. I don't know, Kiwi Green. I can't imagine that. How do you. I can't imagine the Queen lets her undies go out for auction. I don't know. People are weird. Now, if they were auctioning Edgar, J. Edgar Hoover's, corset, I may be interested. His thigh high stockings, I'm there. The outfit that made him feel the sexiest, most glamorous, I'm there. But I don't want the Queen's drawers. So, you guys, thank you for joining this morning for Mornings with Mo. I am going to switch the schedules around. The streams will still be there. It's just going to be, we are going to, by vote of the poll, cover the Skelton Brothers, probate hearing. And today and then tomorrow, we're going to get back on the train for Stacey Rodriguez, or we might get there tonight. I don't know how long or what we're going to be able to speed through for the Skelton Brothers probate hearing, but I will be setting that up for today, and I hope to see you there. We're going to be going over this. It's definitely going to be a hard case to listen to because these are three young men who are unfortunately being pronounced, well, they're being petitioned to, label these boys as no longer with us. And it does kind of take some of the hope away that maybe these boys would be found. But I think it's been long enough, and maybe we'll learn some more information that makes this all, a little, shines a little bit new light of what they have now. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but carry a can of bitch fire because kindness no longer equals doormat. I will see you guys in just a little bit.